This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus. Thank you for joining us tonight. The search continues this evening for the person or persons responsible for beating to death two gopher tortoises in Lakewood Ranch. The tortoises were found earlier this month on a trail between the Summerfield and Greenbrook developments. Now, more reward money is being offered. ABC7's Rick Adams is joining us live from Lakewood Ranch with more on this story tonight. Rick.
Yeah, Haley, this happened right in this area. It's hard to believe someone could do something like this. It's a sight Ray Redden and his 10-year-old daughter Marina would like to forget. Two state-protected gopher tortoises, similar to the one pictured here, beaten to death. The pictures of the bloodied tortoises are just too graphic to show on television.
It wasn't good to see, for her to see what some people are capable of doing, especially to a turtle that hasn't hurt anybody and is innocent.
One of Marina's friends was meeting up with her for a play date nearby, and that's when the boy came across the gruesome scene on this path near Adventure Park in Lakewood Ranch. He then texted Marina to let her and her dad know what was going on.
When we first saw him, I was disgusted that someone would actually do that to the turtles.
When Marina and her dad arrived on scene, one of the tortoises was already dead with its shell cracked, and the other one was barely hanging on, lying in a pool of its own blood. Redden attempted to save the one tortoise by transporting it to Bayshore Animal Hospital, where it would later die.
We had to actually get a piece of cardboard box to slide the turtle onto the box because of the injuries that he had. He wasn't able to support some of the organs that were hanging out from him.
Elise Bennett is an attorney for the Center for Biological Diversity and lifelong Floridian dedicated to protecting rare reptiles and amphibians. Her organization added $5,000 in reward money on Monday for information leading to an arrest or fine in the killing of these tortoises. The total amount now being offered is $7,200.
We would really like to see justice for these tortoises, and we'd like to send the message that they're very important not only for our ecosystems but for our communities as well, and that we take it very seriously when someone does direct and purposeful harm to them.
Florida law states a person may not intentionally kill or wound any fish or wildlife species designated as endangered, threatened, or of special concern. It is a third-degree felony, punishable up to 5 years in prison and a $5,000 fine.
I'm hoping that somebody will come forward and give the names of the person or persons that were involved, and I hope that they're prosecuted.
And if you know anything about this, you're being asked to call authorities or Fish and Wildlife immediately. Reporting live from Lakewood Ranch, I'm Rick Adams. Haley, back to you.
Thank you, Rick. Today is the final day of the U.S. Supreme Court term, and the justices have made some major announcements in several key cases. The High Court has agreed to hear the case about the president's controversial travel ban in the fall. The decision will allow the ban to partially go into effect this week. The ban has sparked protests since it was rolled out as one of the first major actions of the Trump administration in February.
This is racist from the president.
The justices also announcing that they will hear a case pitting religious freedom against same-sex marriage, where a baker refused to make a cake for a gay couple who was getting married. At today's conference of mayors in Miami Beach, several politicians spoke out about the controversial travel ban. Boston's mayor thinks enacting the travel ban before the case is heard will cause confusion. Others completely disagree with what it stands for.
Right off the top of my head, I think it's unwarranted. I think it's un-American. I don't think it's what this country was built on.
I'm hoping that the justices between now and October look very closely at the decision here and make a ruling that's fair and represents all of us in the United States of America.
250 mayors from around the country unanimously committed to run their cities entirely on renewable energy on the final day of the conference. The goal is to use all clean energy from sources including wind and solar by the year 2035. Mayors at the conference have overwhelmingly expressed support to fight climate change, especially after the Trump administration pulled out of the Global Climate Agreement last month. Late this afternoon, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office out with its score of the Senate's health care bill. The CBO says the bill would leave 22 million more Americans uninsured over the next decade. ABC's Maggie Rulli is in New York with the latest.
No, With pressure mounting, Senate Republicans are scrambling to get their bill to repeal and replace Obamacare through before the end of the week.
This is the art of the possible, the art of getting 50 votes.
Now they're also dealing with a new score from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. It reveals the Senate health care bill would leave 22 million more Americans uninsured over the next decade, 15 million more uninsured next year alone. While some young people could see their premiums go down, a 64-year-old making nearly $57,000 a year would see their annual premium rise by nearly $14,000.
Obviously, it's not good news.
And there are concerns about the bill's plan to slash spending on Medicaid by $800 billion, something that would especially affect the elderly and those with disabilities. But other Republicans point to a different number revealed in the score. The deficit would plunge $321 billion by 2026.
This CBO report should be the end of the road for Trump care. Republicans would be wise to read it like a giant stop sign.
With Democrats unified in opposition, Republicans can afford to lose just 2 votes. But already, at least 5 say they cannot support their own party's bill. The president is optimistic and is working the phones, but it could take some convincing. The American Medical Association came out with a scathing review of the bill, saying it violates the medical practice of first do no harm. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
And now shifting gears to take a look at our weather. Today is a little cloudy, some showers in certain areas, Bob.
Yeah, you're right. We had a lot of showers around at points. The current conditions, though, clear. We had some sunshine. I had some sunshine all day in the afternoon, but not much in the morning. A lot of clouds, and the heat index still high, 86 degrees, and the dew point temperature again is fairly high at 74. Now the rain had been around earlier, has since moved on, although we still have some nighttime shower activity taking place in the southern portions of Polk County and into Highlands County. Polk County did have some rain earlier, but this rain is moving off to the northwest. Don't think it's going to make it all the way to Manatee and Sarasota counties. We'll keep an eye on it, but some showers that were heavy at times to the north, producing lightning strikes and fires, and also heavy rainfall and flood advisories has now since moved on, but over 2 inches of rain fell along an old frontal boundary. This front is for the most part stationary. It will fade away on Tuesday. It'll be close enough to us, though, to give us some clouds, and now and again, it's not going to be your typical summer day. That'll happen on Wednesday. We'll get back to more afternoon and evening variety of storms coming late in the day and producing that dangerous lightning. The tropics are quiet for now. There are some indications, though, that we may see something developing in the eastern Atlantic over the next 5 days or so. Look at this. This is amazing. This is abnormally dry on the bottom end of the scale for the drought. Just about 30 to 40 days ago, it was in the extreme position across most of our areas, extreme to severe drought taking place here. But the recent rains have really helped us out in that matter. We'll have much more in our forecast coming up in a few minutes. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. Day 2 of the trial against Punta Gorda Police Chief Tom Lewis will get underway tomorrow. Lewis is charged with culpable negligence in the shooting death of 73-year-old Mary Knowlton during a police training exercise last year. Knowlton was shot by Officer Lee Cole in a shoot, don't shoot civilian exercise. The gun was supposed to be loaded with blank rounds. However, it was loaded with real bullets. Prosecutors argue Chief Lewis should have checked the firearm. Members of the jury also heard witness accounts of that evening.
An officer dressed in a hood and the visor mask challenging her, and the next thing we heard was 3 loud bangs.
An officer with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, which investigated the shooting, also testified today. Florida's next chief financial officer will be one of Governor Rick Scott's original political allies. Former state representative Jimmy Petronis will complete Jeff Atwater's term. Atwater is leaving the elected cabinet office for a job at Florida Atlantic University. This is Governor Scott's 3rd major appointment for Petronis, who served in the state house for 8 years. The governor previously appointed Petronis to the Florida Public Service Commission and the State Constitution Revision Commission.
One thing you know about Jimmy, whatever he tells you he's going to do, he's going to do. There's no question. He's not going to waver. He's not going to play games. He's a direct, honest person.
As your next CFO, I want Florida to be a place where government does its job fairly, predictably, and so workers can have great jobs at great Florida businesses.
While Petronis wouldn't comment on running for a full term as chief financial officer, Scott could have a potential friend on the campaign trail in 2018 if he decides to run for U.S. Senate. Petronis will be sworn in on Friday. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with the official Suncoast forecast. Plus, Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan leading a charge in Washington to stop human trafficking, which has hit Florida communities hard. And an FSU program that could help Suncoast students get interested in the STEM fields years before they start their careers.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
With a top prize of $10 million, the new $10 million world-class cash scratch-off from the Florida Lottery is your ticket to take on the world.
If you get knocked down, stand up again. Rip it up again. Give me one chance, give me one chance. I'm gonna make it. Give me my chance, this is my chance. I'm gonna take
The new $10 million world-class cash scratch-off from the Florida Lottery. One of our life-changing scratch-offs offering billions in cash prizes.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Consumer Cellular makes it easy to stay in touch with family and stay within our budget.
Now our cell phone bill is only a fraction of what it used to be.
Our average customers get everything they need for about $25 a month, and plans start at only $10 a month with no contracts.
Consumer Cellular has a great choice of phones. Check out my new one.
I picked this simple phone.
I use my son's old smartphone. Kept my number, too.
Consumer Cellular has been an approved AARP provider since 2008, and members get exclusive discounts.
It's a good thing Consumer Cellular is always there, because sometimes I need a little help.
Sometimes.
We're proud to have received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service among non-contract wireless providers.
Over the years, we've seen a lot of change.
We actually use change. Luckily, there are some things we can still afford.
Like Consumer Cellular.
Stop paying too much for wireless service. Switch to Consumer Cellular. And with our 30-day risk-free guarantee, it's easy. Call 1-800-920-3084. Go online or visit a Target store today.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Bob, it was a pretty nice weekend. You got your golf in before the rain started, so all is well with the big tournament.
Big tournament, and we raised a lot of good money for, of course, the children's services all across this area. We are looking at decent weather, too, throughout most of the week. Now, we're going to get back to that pattern, those afternoon and evening storms. I want people to know that a lot of lightning will be happening over the upcoming days. Not so much tomorrow, but more so as we push into midweek and the big weekend, too. A lot of people will be outdoors, so keep an eye into the sky, and also download our weather app. It kind of tells you how far the lightning is if it's around. That weather app can be found at your app store. Just go in there and type in for a search My Suncoast, and you should come up with the weather app and the news app. Download them both. Sue Roberts getting this shot by the Venice National Golf and Country Club, I believe. You can see that storm that was more than likely looking east off into the distance there as storms were mainly inland. Van Way's a webcam today showing nice conditions for sunset and for a lot of evening activities along the coast. Not a bad problem. See a sailboat right there kind of moving across Sarasota Bay, and then a beautiful pink sky as a result of just a few clouds around. Well, those clouds are associated with basically a cold front that has come on down. This front, for the most part, stationary, and it exists right there across central Florida. It's going to push a little bit to the south. There's not much cold air behind it, but there's just enough instability in the atmosphere with that front nearby to cause a lot of storminess over the northeastern portion of the state today. Not so much here. We had a few isolated showers. One storm in particular over northeast Manatee County did produce up to 2.5 inches of rainfall. There are some storms well east of our viewing area mainly. Again, not a lot of rain over a widespread area. More of that, I think, comes by midweek and continues on into the weekend. 89, right where we're supposed to be today. That was the high. 97, the record set back in 2007. Statewide temperatures into the mid-70s to low 80s. 81 now in Sarasota, 83 in Key West, and 77 in Orlando. You can see the temperatures are still very warm, very muggy at this hour, and the water temperature 88 steamy degrees out there. So things are starting to heat up in the Gulf of Mexico in terms of the temperature. Now the RPM forecast model showing those showers fading away. And tomorrow morning, there could be 1 or 2 lone showers right near the coast in the late morning, early afternoon. Then you'll notice the general spread is off toward the east. That's always associated with a front that comes down and that west to southwesterly wind component in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere out ahead of the front always favors inland storms pushing toward the east coast later on in the day. That will change, though, Wednesday. That front's going to fade away, and then we'll see a return to the southeasterly wind flow around it that will push the storms back toward the coast or pin them pretty close to it, and a better chance for some showers and thunderstorms Wednesday through Friday. Well, in the tropics, we are continuing to watch not a lot. There's not much going on in the Atlantic Basin anyway. There are indications that we may see something pop off the coast of Africa. And in fact, one of the reliable models, the European, is suggesting that we may see a tropical system developing as early as Friday to Saturday. So we'll keep an eye on it for you. It's a long way out there in the Atlantic, and it hasn't even developed yet. Temperatures pretty chilly in Detroit and Toronto and Cleveland in the 50s there, and 75 in the nation's capital. Still 108 in Phoenix and Kansas City at 60. And it looks as though we will see cooler air spreading across parts of the Tennessee Valley as a result of that cold front coming on down. For boaters tomorrow, not too bad. Seas running 2 feet or less and a light chop. In fact, the boating conditions will stay pretty much the same right through the weekend. So a light chop out there. The water temperature 88. UV index tomorrow at 9, a little higher as we move through the day on Wednesday. Tides upcoming, 250 for a high tide. A low tide will be at 6:32. Sunrise at 6:37. Partly cloudy. A slight chance for an overnight shower near the coast at 20%. Tomorrow, 40% chance for scattered storms, mainly inland, a high of 89. The extended forecast shapes up to be pretty typical for summer. This is afternoon showers and thunderstorms around right through the weekend. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. After being blamed for 11 deaths, more than 180 injuries, and putting millions of drivers in danger, Japanese airbag manufacturer Takata declares a bankruptcy deal for more than $1.5 billion. Will Ripley reports.
A stunning fall for Takata, once a titan of the auto parts industry, undone in one of the worst auto safety scandals ever. Exploding airbags, blamed for at least 11 deaths in the U.S., more than 180 injuries, putting tens of millions of drivers at risk. In Tokyo, disgraced company leadership announcing a more than $1.5 billion bankruptcy deal. Takata selling off most of its business to a U.S.-based rival. I apologize deeply from the bottom of my heart, says Takata's embattled CEO, vowing to resign once the deal is done. The company his family founded more than 80 years ago on the verge of collapse, stocks plunging, key talent leaving. The bankruptcy deal aims to keep factories open and tens of thousands of people employed. The unprecedented global recall affects about 100 million airbag inflators. Tens of millions are still on the road right now. They can explode with too much force, becoming jagged metal projectiles. I saw the danger firsthand 2 years ago at this Japanese scrapyard. We're just lucky our staff wasn't hurt, the owner told me, after a series of Takata airbag explosions. Workers say the force of one of the explosions was so powerful, it actually shot a piece of metal up 10 meters, about 33 feet, leaving that hole in the ceiling. The Japanese government calling Takata's bankruptcy unavoidable. The company owes billions of dollars, including a massive $1 billion fine in the U.S. Takata admitted to manipulating key airbag information for years. For one of the auto industry's oldest and most successful suppliers, this is the end of the road. Will Ripley, Tokyo.
Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan will be leading a meeting in Washington this week about human trafficking in Florida. According to the National Human Trafficking Resource Center, Florida ranks third in the United States in the number of human trafficking cases, and the reported number of cases of human trafficking jumped 54% in the state last year. This Wednesday, Florida's 29-member congressional delegation will meet in D.C. to discuss prevention, treatment for survivors, and law enforcement's work to crack down on the crime. Florida State University's College of Medicine is one step closer to establishing a youth program in Sarasota County. The S-Stride program has received a 5-year, $500,000 grant from the Charles and Marjorie Barancic Foundation. The program provides in- and after-school resources to help students interested in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, and prepare the students for a possible career in healthcare. Sarasota County's S-Stride will target students at McIntosh Middle and Sarasota High School. Great program. Sports is next, but first, here's Jimmy Kimmel.
Now more than ever, it's important that you see this. What constitutes a disaster of a boyfriend? Like, what kinds of things does a boyfriend... She does not need to answer that. This is not the time, Dr. I think I do.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the blingiest of them all? You are, with Spectralite diamonds, all gorgeous and affordable. Only found at Creative Gems, where you always get big bling for little ching.
Get ready for the most hair-raising event of the summer. Belt Entertainment and the Ringling Museum present international circus superstar Bello Nah in Incredibello, a gravity-defying, laughter-inducing, super stunt performance live at the historic Oslo Theater. Don't miss out on the must-see event of the summer, Incredibello, playing June 13th through July 29th. For tickets, visit ringling.org today.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Sarasota Ford.
This year's Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix will feature 2 full days of racing off Lido Beach on July 1st and 2nd. Meet race teams up close during the Boats on Main downtown block party on Friday, June 30th. Don't miss the Grand Prix Fan Fest on July 1st and 2nd, where you can see race boats launch and watch the races live from under a large tent. There will be music, food, fan zones, and vendors. VIP race day viewing tickets are available at SarasotaPowerboatGrandPrix.org.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Don't hate me because I'm blingiful. Get your bling on with affordable Spectralite diamonds exclusively at Creative Gems in gold and silver, where you always get big bling for little ching.
Now, sports.
Game 1 of the College World Series tonight, Florida versus LSU. A scoreless game until the top of the 4th. Florida's Austin Langworthy hits a fly ball into foul territory. Kramer Robertson makes the catch. Dalton Guthrie tags and scores as Robertson's throw goes to the side of home plate. And it's a hot inning for the Gators. Jonathan, or this is not FSU. This is actually UF. Sorry. Jonathan India sends the ball to center field and scores 2 more for Florida players. Gators hold on to the lead through the end. The final score is 4-3. Tim Tebow is coming back to Florida. The former NFL quarterback has been promoted to the New York Mets High A minor league affiliate in Port St. Lucie. Tebow posted a .222 batting average with 3 dingers with the Columbia Fireflies this year. Unfortunately for Tebow fans, the St. Lucie Mets won't be coming to Bradenton for the rest of the regular season, but they will be in Charlotte County starting July 29th for a 4-game series with the Stone Crabs, assuming Tebow is still with the team at that point. Tampa Bay Lightning great Dave Anderchuk will be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Anderchuk is 29th in scoring with 1,338 points in 23 seasons and was captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning, the 2004 Stanley Cup team. Players Teemu Selanne, Paul Kariya, Mark Recchi, and female player Danielle Goyette are also part of this year's inductees. Congratulations. Emirates team New Zealand claimed the 35th America's Cup in Bermuda today. The team defeating Oracle Team USA 7-1 in dominating fashion. New Zealand sailor Peter Burling is the youngest ever America's Cup winning helmsman. The two teams competed against one another back in 2013 when Team USA made a stunning comeback. That's a look at sports. We'll have our lotto numbers right after this.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
What if this is all you need from your wireless provider, but what you're actually paying for is this, or even an unlimited plan? At Consumer Cellular, you don't need an unlimited budget, because when you switch to us, you'll only pay for what you need. Our average customer gets all the talk, text, and data they need for less than $25 a month. Many pay even less, as plans start as low as $10 a month. You'll love our reliable nationwide coverage and enjoy exceptional customer support. J.D. Power ranked us highest in customer service 2 times in a row. Plus, we've been an approved AARP provider since 2008 because of the superior support and outstanding value our service provides to members, including exclusive discounts. You can even keep your number and your phone, or get a great new one from us. Switching couldn't be easier. There are no contracts, and it's all backed by a 30-day risk-free guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Switch to Consumer Cellular and start saving. Call 1-800-363-1903. Go to consumercellular.com or visit a Target store today.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind Your Meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
ABC7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
A gaggle of geese got a police escort on a busy Colorado highway. Greenwood Village Police kept drivers safe while feathered family members made their way down the shoulder. They were delivered safely. The video was posted with the comment, "All lives matter," to the GVPD. How cute they are. I love how they always stay in their little line.
Yeah.
Good job.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader. That's
Even in
right.
flight, too, right?
They do. That V formation,
yeah, that's right.
so cool.
Breaking the wind, just like the plane.
Mhm.
We are looking at some nice weather tomorrow, although we will see a few showers around, a few thunderstorms. It looks as though a better chance for rain comes Wednesday, and those will be those afternoon and evening thunderstorms. And I want to let people know it will be a big weekend. A lot of people will be outdoors, so pay attention to the sky. If you hear the thunder roar, it's a good idea to get indoors.
That's a good little riddle. Remember that. Have a great night, and we will see you back here tomorrow.